I have such a fear of not making it in real estate. I've enjoyed everything I've learned about everything in real estate, but the challenge is the money and making commission. But my fear is not making it because I would be mortified. Everybody on social media knows I'm a realtor. It's pretty obvious. If you want to be the most successful realtor you can be, you cannot be afraid of accountability. Because if you're afraid of accountability, you need to have that. The goal is daily.
Ready? Ready to rock and roll? Is that action? All right.
Okay. That's right.
All right.
Absolutely. Go. Go.
Hello, everybody. It's Jason Will with
Go.
This is a real estate podcast, but we talk about leadership, personal growth, and becoming the best version of yourself. Leadership, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Growth, best version of yourself.
Go.
So this is a real estate podcast. Hey, welcome everybody to another fascinating episode of the Impact Agent Podcast. We are all about just meeting with impactful people that have, impactful stories to tell. And we're joined today by Miss Julia Hoover of ARC Realty.
Hey guys, I'm excited to be here, excited to join.
I wanted to have Julia on because Julia is a new real estate agent. How many months in the business?
Let's see, I joined in May. So about 5 months.
Yeah, so less than 6 months in the business. So you have a truly hands-on, unique, very informative, a lot of informative information to provide to people about the real estate industry, because as we discussed before we came on mic, is that there's more real estate agents getting into the industry now than they ever have been before.
Absolutely. It's
and
crazy.
I want to give them a real, raw view from a new agent of what it is really like, so they can decide, is this for me? Do I have what it takes? And the first question I have for you is, did you think it would be easier than it actually is?
I did think it would be easier. When even getting your license, it was very challenging. And I graduated from Stanford May 2020, so I was used to studying, used to all the education. And when I say the real estate license is the hardest test I've taken of my life, thank goodness I passed the first time, but not many people I know did. And I was the last person to leave. I think we got 2.5 hours. Everybody was gone. I was the last one in there, sweating bullets. I came out almost crying. And thank goodness the lady gave me my paper and said, do a happy dance. But it was really hard, which is good though, because you want your real estate agents to be educated.
Well, we hadn't really discuss that as a talking point, but I think that is important to mention, because when, aspiring real estate agents ask me about the test, I always tell them, go back and read the question more than once, preferably 3 times, because in the real estate exam, there's more than one right answer. There's the best answer.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those kinds of tests. So the fact that you took your time and didn't rush to get out of there was probably a blessing for you.
Right. I think it was 120 questions. I went through all of them 3 times. I had a sheet of paper and wrote down all the numbers I knew I did not get right, went back, and I went through it 3 times.
Yeah, that's really good advice. How long did it take you to get?
It took me 3.5 weeks.
How in the world did you get through a 60-hour course in 3 weeks?
It was challenging, but I used it as if it was a college exam, like a final. I actually went back to my college. I went to the library. I went to the 3rd floor where it was completely quiet. And from probably 8 until 8 at night, all I did was study. I had note cards on note cards and study them, and also Prep Agent. If anybody's getting their license, I would absolutely recommend Prep Agent. It's modules. Yeah. It's modules, it's videos, it's note cards, it's quizzes. It's only $100. And even if you want your money back, if you don't pass, they will give you your money back. And they have tons of YouTube videos. If you're getting your license, absolutely use Prep Agent.
Yeah, it's that good. So this is in addition to, this is just extra coursework, exam prep,
right,
if you will. Okay, so licensed since May. How's it been going so far?
It has been really well. I've really enjoyed it. It has been a little bit more challenging than I thought, getting clients, and obviously the market is crazy, so getting people under contract, everything is a little bit overpriced, as we know, but I've really enjoyed it, but it definitely is challenging and very competitive.
So the other thing I wanted to kind of mention is, and you brought this up earlier when we were talking about savings. So knowing what you know now, and let's say you get approached by a girlfriend or somebody you went to Stanford with, who just has been following you and wants to get her real estate license too. I mean, how much savings do you think you need?
Save the money. I nannied all throughout college, and I spent that all throughout college. And then when I graduated, I nannied for one more year. That was the savings I have now. But if I could tell younger me my future, I would have saved half of every paycheck, because obviously in real estate, you only make money when you make commission. You could have a sale fall through, but definitely go into real estate with savings, or else you're going to be very stressed.
You know how much pressure 100% commission compensation puts on real estate agents. I mean, heck, I just recently did a podcast today before you got here with a roofing salesman. Mm-hmm. He's 100% commission. He's like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I have mad respect for anybody that's in 100% commission, but you know, there's pressure upon pressure. This is a super competitive industry. Mm-hmm. I just don't think people are really prepared for that. So how many deals have you done since May?
So far, I have had 2, and both of them have gone through. They were a little bit rocky along the way, but I will say once that sale goes through and you see them move into the new home and you finally get that paycheck, it is rewarding. Absolutely. And it makes you hungry for more. I mean, I feel like ever since I've had those first 2 sales, I've become so much more hardworking, and I know what it takes to get them under contract, and you want those sales. And also it's been nothing but a blessing to see these people. They've been first-time home buyers move into a home, and I follow them on social media posting their new gym, their new living room, and it's exciting to see as well.
Yeah, so what'd you major in at Stanford?
I switched my major 4 times. I just wanted a college degree, but my final major was human development and family sciences, which is awesome, but it's social work, it's nonprofit, and that was never my passion. I always knew I wanted to go into something sales or marketing, and real estate had always been on my mind. I was always warned it was a commission job, but I took the leap, and I've really enjoyed it so far.
I was, similar situation. I graduated from Auburn, still had zero idea what I wanted to do with my life. All my other friends, or most of them, had everything kind of figured out, and ended up going to my dad, and I was like, what should I do? What do you think I should do? And he's like, I think you should be a teacher or get into real estate. And I was like, well, how much do real estate agents make? He goes, it's 100% commission. I was like, I'll be a teacher. So I was a teacher for a year, and then realized that all the free time you get with teaching, you can't really enjoy it because you don't have any money. So I was like, let me give this real estate a shot. But so before we skip past, why real estate and what you love about real estate, I neglected to hammer down on this point. We talked about savings, but I really feel like new real estate agents have unrealistic expectations. They just think, hey, I'm going to get my real estate license, and people are just going to reach out from all over the place and want to work with me. And that's not the case. It is a very much a proactive industry. You've got to go out there and get it.
Yes, I have joined every single networking event. That's actually how I met Jason at a Vestavia Chamber Hills event. Any networking event, I'll be there. But, selling Sunset, all these reality TV shows, it gets you really excited about real estate. It's not realistic. And I've even heard those shows itself, it's not the real deal out there either. They make it seem so easy, and it's not like that.
Well, I used to say this a lot to agents, because they would ask me, what's it really like? And you dig deep, you feel like, why'd you want to get into real estate? And they go, oh my gosh. I mean, they see this lady who's very classy and very fashionable. Maybe she's riding around town in her convertible Mercedes, and she's got these designer everything from the sunglasses to the watch. And they're like, wow, I want to be like that. I mean, the agent that ultimately inspired me to get into real estate, when my wife and I bought our first house, she had a nice car. She had a whole entourage of people with her when we went to go see houses. And I was like, oh, this is impressive. But what I quickly found out about that woman and every other successful real estate agent that I've come to know is either they've got some other source of income. They're either independently wealthy, their spouse is independently wealthy, or they're the hardest working salesperson you've ever met in your life. And it takes a lot of grit and a lot of discomfort. I mean, you can't be successful in this industry without being outside your comfort zone. So I really wanted to hammer that home and hope people are listening. 2 deals in 6 months. Now, when they start following you on social media, they're quickly going to see, in my opinion, a rising star. So these first 2 deals, once you got those behind you, the market is going to correct a little bit, and you're going to shoot off like a rocket. But 6 months, 2 deals, having to invest all this money to get your license. It was probably maybe you eating some ramen noodles. I don't know,
Absolutely. I know when I first started real estate when I was studying versus now, I have definitely invested money in real estate, but I look at it as an investment. I just turned 24. I feel like I'm pretty young to join real estate, and that's how I'm looking at it. I'm investing in myself for the future. And hopefully in the future, right now I'm going to networking events and I make about 60 to 100 calls a day, but in the future, I'm hoping for referrals. That's the goal.
Well, and let's talk about that for a second. I mean, you're not from Birmingham. You went to school here, but your sphere of influence is in Georgia, correct?
Absolutely.
The team leader you work for, Blake Schultz, he's a hometown guy, right?
He is, and he is killing it.
Yeah, he crushes it. He's a local celebrity. You didn't have the benefit of that kind of homegrown organic notoriety, so you got to go out there and get it. The reason I am so confident in your success is not just because of how good you are at building your brand and marketing yourself, but it's when you open your mouth, you're talking about these fundamental things that a lot of real estate agents aren't prepared to do. So
right.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. So why real estate? You're really attracted to the sales and marketing aspect of it.
Right. I mean, I'm a people person. I love to talk, obviously. I love to build relationships with people, and real estate is absolutely a relationship business. Whether you are transactional or a relational agent, at the end of the day, it's a relationship that you're building with people. And I love marketing. I love social media posts. And in real estate, I'm basically marketing myself as an asset to somebody on their home buying journey.
Yeah, yourself, your lifestyle, the city you live in, the farm market that you're focused on, and you're focused on Vestavia Hills. That's where you're focusing on building your brand and your notoriety.
Right.
So that's really cool. To me, there's not a lot of industries where you can just express and really indulge in your creative freedom, right?
Right.
And so real estate's one of those great industries. And the more you put yourself out there, the more top of mind awareness you get, and the more your business is going to grow.
Absolutely. And in real estate, you choose how hard you want to work. Some people, they do it part-time. They only do a couple of sales. Other people, they're calling, they're going to networking events. I mean, in real estate, you can do anything you want. You just got to put the work in, and eventually it will pay off. But you definitely have to put the work in and get to know and meet people.
For sure. And so you not being from here, I'm a team leader. I've been building a real estate team since 2010. And I feel like, most real estate companies you go to, there's a mentorship program, right? So your first 3 deals or however many deals, first 2 to 5, there's a mentor assigned. I usually find for some agents that's plenty. Mm-hmm. After the first one, they're like, I don't need you anymore, mentor. But for most agents, those 3 deals aren't going to be enough.
Right. And
so you decided to join a real estate team right out of the gate, which I think is absolutely the best move.
I absolutely agree. I mean, I went from college to real estate, but I feel like my education has gone so far. He gives us homework and challenges and, learning about investments, learning about everything. In the future, though, that's going to really be an asset to me in real estate.
I look at it this way. You talk about investing in yourself, right? And this money that because you do make less money on a team.
Right.
And there's a lot of different ways to look at this, because right now you've only closed 2 deals, but when you start to close 2 deals a month, compared to the agent who's not on a team that doesn't have the accountability and doesn't have the motivation, and there's a little bit of a competition typically on teams, and it's a healthy competition if it's a good culture on a team. You're actually probably gonna be making more money than them,
right?
After it's all, because Blake probably pays for a lot of the marketing and bears a lot of brunt of the expenses. But I feel like you're investing in a PhD, like in real estate. So in 2 years, you're gonna have the knowledge of a 10-year veteran.
Absolutely. I almost feel like it's a little bit back to school. I'm given homework. Every single morning at 8:45, we have a call. We talk about what we did yesterday, what we're doing today, what our goals are. And if I was on my own, some days it might be easy to just like not think about your goals, but in the morning, I always know what I'm going to do that day to invest in real estate, to make myself a better realtor, to get more networking.
Well, I wanted to speak specifically to people that are new in the business or thinking about getting in the business in this podcast, but just real quick in terms of the fact if there's any team leaders or people that are aspiring real estate team builders, they need to hear what you just said about Blake holding you guys accountable and hosting these morning calls, these morning huddle calls, whatever y'all call them. I feel like most folks, when they start teams, they're really not comfortable with the accountability piece, and that's crucial.
It's challenging, but you know what Blake told me once? He said, because when I first went to those networking events, I'm social, but in college, I never went anywhere alone. And now I go everywhere alone, and it makes you more successful. If you're not uncomfortable, are you really bettering yourself? Like in real estate, you need to be uncomfortable and get yourself in those positions, because then you're going to build your future. You're going to build your character.
I look at this, I tell agents this all the time. Whatever gives you anxiety, whatever makes your hands sweat, whatever makes you uncomfortable, that in our industry at least, that's typically where the money is. Mm-hmm. So you can't get around that. And I really want to spend some time hammering this networking piece because, we host 2 live trainings here a week, and we also, they're virtual. We live stream them, but I'm just constantly talking about networking. Mm-hmm. And what groups are you guys joining? Is it a small group at church? Maybe it's not the Vestavia Chamber.
I've joined a small group as well. Yeah. Come January, I'm going to join the Junior League. Granted, I don't want to be in too many networking events that I can't focus on, but yeah. I want to at least have 3 or 4 networking events that I can really, really invest myself in, get to know people. And also, if I can help them in their business as well, it's a relationship business.
How do you find these networking groups?
Networking events, honestly, through Google. Meetup has a lot of events, meetup.com. Yeah. And then Bible studies is another great way. Any chamber, and then Junior League for Women is also a great way to network.
I totally forgot about meetup.com. I'm so glad you brought that up because that's just like plug and play. You pull that up and you're going to find stuff that's going on.
I went to a meetup 2 nights ago at Ghost Town Brewery, and it was probably 50 people all looking there, the network.
You went by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you go there by yourself, you walk in, what do you do?
It's overwhelming. First of all, I wear my name tag everywhere, whether it's networking or not. You have no idea how many people at a gas station, at Target, at Walmart have come up to me, and I've given them my card. Some people think it's embarrassing to wear your name tag. I wear it everywhere, but at these events, I go up to people, and it's uncomfortable, but it's really not that weird to introduce yourself and start talking to people. Even though it might feel weird, you end up, they're here to network too. They're feeling uncomfortable if they're alone, and you build that relationship. You communicate about what your jobs are. Especially if they're here to network and you are too, you want to help each other.
So you go to this networking event. Did you go get a beer first and then just kind of look around for somebody, or were you getting a beer and somebody saw your name tag and y'all started talking, or how does that all happen? Because there's people literally listening,
right,
that are like,
I get a beer first. Liquid courage never hurts. No, I normally get my beer first because it's always nice, socially to have that drink in hand. It just is. And then I go out and I kind of look around, see who I want to talk to. And I go up and I'm like, I just introduce. I'm like, hey, I'm Julia. It's a networking event. It's not like you're just going up to random people. That's not even weird to go up to random people. But a networking event, it's totally okay to go up. And I've had nothing but people want to communicate with me. So I've really enjoyed networking. It's just getting out of that comfort zone to go alone.
I would imagine they see your name tag. They'll probably talk to you about real estate, and then you'll ask them what they do. They might have a name tag on or something that indicates, maybe it's a branded polo shirt or something that indicates what their company is. And so it's just asking questions, right?
Right.
They ask you questions, you ask them questions, because I hear this all the time. What am I going to talk about? Like, what do I say to these people? I don't know them, so I don't know what to say. And that's the whole point. You ask them questions about themselves.
Right. And a lot of times I don't mention real estate until later on because people want that relationship. If I were to use a realtor, I don't want somebody who just wants to sell me a home. I want somebody who wants to invest in me, who's really going to be there for me, because it is a relationship business. At the end of the day, you need to trust somebody who's going to be your realtor because it's a huge purchase.
Okay. So name tag, super important. Networking events, super important. The next thing I want to talk to you about was social media, because the reason we met at that chamber meeting luncheon was because I had been following you on TikTok.
Right.
And so I just approached you and I was like, hey, I think I follow you on Facebook. You're Julia Hoover, da-da-da-da. Most real estate agents, especially new agents, they ain't getting on that side of the video camera, right? They're fine getting behind it, but they don't like the way they look. They don't like the way they sound.
Right.
To them, it's cringeworthy. And you just came right out of the gate making videos, and it's served you very well, and it's going to continue to serve you well. How did you do that? How did you make peace with the fact that you needed to do that? Where did you find the courage? How did you overcome all the negative self-talk? What happened there? Unpack it for us.
I will say, I was posting a lot on TikTok before, but if you go back and look at my old videos before real estate, now my whole TikTok is real estate.
Right.
And it's almost become my identity, but that is also who I've become. I mean, real estate now has become a huge part of my life. And I have had several people say like, oh, they're a little cringy because they're a little funny and stuff. But I mean, I've also had tons of people message me through TikTok. I think it's totally fine to put yourself out there.
Yeah. We talked about, like, before we hit record, about like your family members going, ooh, like,
yes,
maybe tone it down a little bit. I had one of my agents finally talked him into doing like his first Facebook Live video. This is years ago, back when Facebook Live was a thing. But he went home and his wife was like, don't ever do that again. And I was like, oh, come on. It took me so long to get there. But I think people, a lot of times when they're trying to talk you out of it or tell you to tone it down, it's because they're uncomfortable. It's their insecurities, right? And it's like, maybe they're trying to protect you, but you just have to realize, I really feel like we're moving into a space, probably not too far off, where about 80% of our business is going to come from social media.
Absolutely. I would say, yes, I have a bigger following on TikTok, but I take my TikTok videos and post them on Facebook. And I get messages daily from people on Facebook, at least wanting to connect with real estate.
Do you think it matters? This is just a random question, but do you think it matters do you take your TikTok watermark off of your videos before you share them to Facebook or Instagram?
That is a great question, because I actually had somebody share with me how to take it off, but I just haven't.
Yeah.
I don't really think it matters. I mean, and plus, if they want to find my TikTok, they can take that watermark and then follow me on TikTok.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Self-branding.
But I've had some people say you shouldn't do that, but like the app that they gave me to do, it's like $10 a week. And I was like, I don't know if it's worth all that. But that's an interesting little question I wanted to ask you. Well, here's the thing. So let's just say there's an agent listening. They start taking your advice. They start putting themselves out on social media. It is a legitimate concern for them to feel that they're going to be inviting some unscrupulous characters. Are you getting any weirdos?
Absolutely.
Stalkers?
I wouldn't say stalker, but I have definitely had a few people few males who have messaged me, and I eventually had to say, I'm so sorry, but I think it's best if you work with somebody else. And that's the good thing about real estate. You choose who you're going to work with.
Yeah. Nothing major has happened. What did you say? You had even some people that made you feel uncomfortable at open houses? How do you deal with that?
I mean, open houses, thankfully the males on my team, I know I could always call them. One of them tracks me. I have pepper spray. I will say open houses, thankfully, I haven't had anybody crazy so far. But I will say one challenge I have faced with males who have said they're interested in buying on Facebook Messenger, they always want to go to dinner or grab drinks to talk about real estate. And I always say, I'm happy to meet you at my office. And if they keep pushing it, they're not interested in buying a home.
Serious.
And I mean, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help you in real estate. I'm not here for a date.
Yeah, and you don't want to, regardless, whether it's meeting at Starbucks or meeting at your office, there's just certain rules you don't break, like meeting at a vacant property. That kind of stuff doesn't end well. So you're smart about it, and you quickly nip it in the bud. You recognize when people are maybe being a little inappropriate, but it's not like something that is going to one day convince you to get off of social media.
No, absolutely not. I think even before social media, there's always those men out there, especially if you are posting so much on social media, you are putting yourself out there. But it's just, that's the good thing about real estate. You choose who you want to work with or not.
And I think social media is a way, I don't think people realize this too, but it is a way to alienate people that you probably weren't meant to work with.
Right.
People are going to be attracted to your vibe, to your personality. They're going to either find you relatable or annoying, and that's okay. We aren't too many real estate agents they want to be all things to all people.
Right.
They don't want to put anything out on social media because they're afraid they're going to alienate somebody or turn somebody off. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if 50% of the people don't like you, you're going to make a heck of a lot of money from that other 50%.
My very first week or two, because like I said, I was making tons of TikToks before I joined real estate. And when I first joined, I was posting like 2 or 3 videos a week. And I had a few people message me. They're like, stop pretending like you're some famous realtor or like some experienced realtor, because they knew I had just joined real estate. But you know what? I was just like, for somebody to comment that,
yeah,
they must be...
They're
just wanting to give hate.
They're putting a lot of restrictions on themselves.
Right.
I mean, you need to personify who you want to ultimately become, right? You're beginning with the end in mind. You're like, yeah, but I need to have the attitude. It's a lot of what we do in real estate is about confidence and swagger. Mm-hmm. And if you just act like a timid new real estate agent, you're going to get treated like one.
Absolutely. Especially being so young in real estate.
24 years old. It's amazing.
Just turned 24 last week. So
name tag. Networking, putting yourself out there on social media. Let's jump into this concept. I just love some of the things you say. You're a full-time agent. I feel like so many agents that would describe themselves as full-time agents treat it like it's a part-time job,
right,
or like it's a hobby. And so can you take us through a typical day or a typical routine of your day?
Absolutely. So my goal, I try to spend at least 3 or 4 hours in the office a day, just making calls. I try to make I probably say I make 60 calls a day. And then previews is something that is very important. Previews is basically just booking a showing, but you're going alone just to see the home because you want to know the market. If you ever meet a client and they say they want to see a home, it's great to already know what the home is like, to give them that advice. So I try to do quite a few previews a week and know exactly what is on the market, what it's priced for. If there's a drop in price, I want to know that as well. It's just educating yourself on the market, because if you're not educated, you could be a realtor and not do anything every day. It doesn't really matter, but you're not going to get anywhere.
Well, this is another thing that I get on my soapbox about like every single week. I advise agents to show themselves homes. Just become a research-based agent. If you study the data, you'll see that the number one thing, this is what all this money we pay to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, they spend it wisely. They do a heck of a lot of research. Well, that research says that the number one thing our consumers want from us is market knowledge. Mm-hmm. Okay, yes, that is like price per square foot and days on market.
Right.
But it's also title, mortgage, home warranties, home inspections. But you need to know your inventory.
Oh, absolutely.
You need to get to a point in your business where if Vestavia is going to be your farm, that a home doesn't come on the market in Vestavia that you haven't seen.
Absolutely. And
that's going to help with I'm sure you've seen that help you in your confidence at open houses and your confidence on your phone calls, because you know the inventory and you see the inventory. And then somebody may say, well, this home is priced. Why is this home priced, $50,000 in this other home? And you say, well, right, I've seen both homes. The home that's priced more has been totally remodeled or has a remodeled kitchen. This other one's dated. That's professionalism.
Absolutely.
That's what they're seeking. And so you're just doing all these things. You've come out of the gate doing all these things right. And I'll, hit the pause button here and say, if we have you back in 6 months or a year, the production level is going to be just astronomically higher. But even doing the right things, it's 5 or 6 months before you really get into this momentum phase of your business. Mm-hmm. And most agents aren't doing all these right things like you're doing.
Right. And to be honest,
to the office every day.
That's why I'm thankful I'm on a team, though. I feel like I wouldn't have known to do all these previews and stuff. Blake has truly given me all these challenges that I know I've invested in myself that will make me a great agent.
Yeah. I really feel like agents that are listening should seek out Like maybe they should go to their broker and say, hey, who are the Blake Schultzes in the office? Because I know a heck of a lot of team leaders that don't know what the heck they're doing.
Right.
Like I talked to one the other day, said we've met like in the history of their team, they've gotten together like twice.
Oh my goodness.
You know, a lot of these teams, I think it's fair to say, a lot of them are teams in name only. They don't have a structure. They don't have systems. They're not holding each other accountable. They're not doing things socially together. And it's that can really put a bad taste because other people in the office see these poor team leaders and they go, oh, these teams are just a joke. They're not making any money. It's an ego thing or whatever it is. But so use whatever resources are at your disposal to identify the great leaders and get on these teams.
Absolutely.
It's so crazy. They make it about money. They're afraid of the accountability, but the speed at which you are going to level up and scale your business, the trajectory is so much faster.
Absolutely. If you want to be the most successful realtor you can be, you cannot be afraid of accountability. Because if you're afraid of accountability, I mean, you need to have that. The goal is daily.
I just feel like I'm wrestling with the agents that I coach and train on connecting to what drives them.
Right.
So in terms of your big why and what drives you, because I know making $60 a day is, you don't probably wake up in the morning and go, yay, 60 dials. There's a lot of things in this industry, like we've talked about repeatedly during this interview, that's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you got to be connected to something that drives you. Mm-hmm. Do you have something super specific that you're like, I want to own this, or I want to experience this? And like for me, I don't like having to say I can't afford it.
Right.
I don't like going to the grocery store on a budget. I don't like looking at travel destinations going, a little too pricey. Like if I want it or I want to experience it, I want to be able to do it. What drives you?
I have such a fear of not making it in real estate. Wow. I mean, I'm going to make it. I enjoy it so much. I told my mom, if this was not a commission paid job and I got salaried, like this is a dream. And it is. I totally love real estate. I love building these relationships. I love showing homes. I've enjoyed everything I've learned about everything in real estate. But the challenge is the money and making commission. But my fear is not making it because I would be mortified to everybody on social media knows I'm a realtor. It's pretty obvious. And I would be mortified and I would be so mad at myself if I couldn't make it. Because I want to stay in this. I want this to be my career, even when I'm in my 40s.
Wow. Two very important points out of what you just said that I picked up. Number one, I haven't spoken about this in a while, but it's so true. The accountability factor of social media. Like you have put yourself out there as not only a real estate agent, but a successful one. And so there's a lot of, it's like if you say, you go on social media and you say, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I need y'all to hold me accountable. I didn't drink for over a year. And I told people, I was like, if you see me out in a bar, and make sure it's club soda, not, vodka soda. And it worked. Anywhere I was there, and if they see something in my hand, they go, is that club soda? I'll be like, yeah, here, taste it. So it does work. And then the next thing, which is awesome, is that your why is tied to fear. Mm-hmm. And I am fond of saying that fear should push you, not stifle you. Like you can find a great deal of power in that fear. That fear of failure is driving you every day to go to networking events alone, wear your name tag and strike up conversations with strangers, make 60 calls a day, get into the office 4 to 5 hours a day, go spend your afternoons previewing homes. You're doing everything right. And you have fear to thank for it, so it's just amazing. All right. So let's talk about how people can get in touch with you. Let's plug everything we can that you feel comfortable plugging. Websites, where do you want people to connect with you and follow you and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So obviously TikTok, I post a lot on. My goal is at least 2 or 3 videos a week. I'm trying to get some more funny ones out, not just always home videos. But my TikTok is Julia Taylor Hoover, Instagram Julia T Hoover. But yeah, if you go any of my socials, it's very real estate related, but I post a lot of cool homes. I post a lot of funny videos, but I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So does your team have a website or anything?
We do not.
Okay. So best way to connect with you is send you a PM or a DM.
Honestly, my phone number, if you just want to shoot me a text.
Yeah, what's that?
It's 678. It's a Atlanta area code, but 678-822-1252.
Okay. And then call or text you on that direct?
Absolutely, yes.
Just know that if you got to keep it professional or they're going to go straight to voicemail, right? You're going to start blocking people, right? Well, listen, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to just watch you to continue to level up in this business, and would love to have you back on at some point to talk about what's going on and how you progressed, and just keep promoting your team or whatever I can do to help you grow your business. I'm here for. So
absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I do love to see your passion on real estate, because I see your TikTok videos, your Facebooks, and you definitely are educated and passionate about it.
That's what I love to do. My passion is helping agents succeed in the business. I think this podcast is designed to just hammer home the fundamentals. I mean, everything you mentioned here is so vital to the real estate business, yet it's so against the grain. Mm-hmm. Most agents aren't doing this. They're just waiting for something to happen.
No, I'm hungry. I want people. Even if it's just building relationships, you never know in the future. I mean, I'm keeping up with these people every month. I'll send a text, I'll send a call, send an email. It's all about building those relationships. And if you keep up with people, I feel like eventually they'll reach out to you when they need you or refer you.
Love it. Julia Hoover, thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Impact Agent Podcast. If you liked the show and got something out of it, please like the Impact Agent Podcast on Facebook and rate and review the show on iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts. This really helps us grow the show and helps other agents find it. Please share it with your friends and coworkers as well. Want us to deliver the show to you via email every week? Then email me at jason@impactagentuniversity.com and we'll send you the show every week. Please let us know what you think about the show, what you like, what you don't, or possibly make a suggestion about a topic you want to hear. Email me at jason@impactagentuniversity.com or leave us a message on Facebook at Impact Agent Podcast. Until next week, everybody be productive, safe, and happy, and always keep learning. This podcast is produced by Johnny Gwynn at Deep Fried Studios in Mobile, Alabama, and is paid for and powered by ImpactAgentUniversity.com.